Hello, hello. Welcome to Restorative Yoga. Today we will need a couple of blankets and or a couple of pillows. If you only have a couple of blankets or only have a couple of pillows close at hand, that's fine. But truly in restorative yoga, the more props, the better. So you can spare some pillows and blankets from your bed or your couch. Go ahead and grab 2 of each of those. And we'll place one blanket towards the top of your mat where your head's going to rest. And then we'll place pillows or blankets on either side of your mat. So it'll look kind of something like this. These can, again, be pillows or blankets on either side of your mat. Okay, so a blanket or pillow at the top of the mat, and then flank your mat with a blanket or pillow. And then the blanket that's going at the top of the mat, you're going to fold it over maybe once or twice, just so that the back of the head's resting on that blanket. And then you can just take a moment here to stretch the legs out long. Kind of check in with the neck and the shoulders as you settle onto your back. I always like to roll my shoulders underneath my back a little bit more to create some more space for the neck to lengthen out. And let's place our hands on our belly and our rib cage. And if you like, if it's comfortable to you, you can close the eyes. If it's more comfortable to keep the eyes open, that's okay too, but try to just soften your gaze. Just try to let everything become a little bit fuzzy and unfocused if you're keeping the eyes open. Just take a moment here to notice the physical body, notice what is present in your physical body. How do you feel? You could just scan starting from the top of the head, through the neck, the shoulders, the arms, down the spine. Notice the pelvis, the hips, the legs, the ankles, and the feet. Just allowing your awareness to drop into your physical body and see what is present. And as we're lying here, arriving into our practice today, we will begin our cyclical breathing. And we've been doing this past couple of classes, so if you've been with me, it might be familiar. And if this is your first time trying it, that's okay too. Just be patient. If it feels awkward or challenging, that's okay. It's part of learning something new. So the cyclical breathing, we inhale deeply to your fullest capacity. Slight pause at the top of that inhale breath, and then take one more sip of air in. When you're ready, release that. Exhale, let all the air go in one long, slow breath. And we'll do that again. We'll inhale deeply to your maximum capacity. And take a slight pause at the top of that inhale. Take one more sip of air in. And exhale, nice, long, slow breath out. One fluid, long breath out. And we'll continue that. Inhale, pause, one more sip of air in, one long continuous exhale. Breathing in. And if your breath is different length than what I'm prompting, that's okay. Just your own inhale, your own maximum inhale. The pause at the top is very brief. One more sip of air in. And then your own exhale to let it all go, let it all rest. So let's continue in this way, 3 more rounds of cyclical breathing. And just take a few more moments to finish up your last round of this breath. And the next time you exhale, let go of any retention, let go of any effort in the breath. Just let your breath be natural and free. And begin to bend the knees and plant the feet if your legs are still stretched out long. Pressing into your feet, tuck your tailbone under so that when you release your pelvis back to the mat, there's a little bit more of the low back in contact with the mat. So can you feel the back of the pelvis resting on the mat? Can you feel a little bit of the low back resting on the mat? And then from this place, we're just going to do a few pelvic rocks. So we're going to tilt forward to the tip of the tailbone. The low back will lift. And then you're going to press the low back down and just the tailbone will slightly lift. So the pelvis is going to stay in contact with the mat the whole time. You're just tilting forward on the tip of the tailbone. And then you're pressing your low back down. So it's a very, very small movement. Not a lot of effort here. Just continue moving and breathing through the low back, through the pelvis. So as you continue this gentle movement, just a reminder, this month we're focusing in both vinyasa and restorative practices on the health of the spine. So mainly we're focusing on back bending. There's so many different ways to educate the spine to back bend with integrity. And this pelvic tilt is one of the ways that we can educate the pelvic wheel, or the pelvic bowl, to move freely without overdoing it. So back bends don't have to be these huge, big, scary expressions. They can be really small, little, subtle movements, micro movements. Move through your pelvic rock just twice more. And then let that be neutral, just let it settle. We're going to come into a fetal position onto your left side. So that blanket or pillow that's there, your outer left knee and left ankle get to rest on it. And then you're rolling onto that left ear and left shoulder. If you need something that's a little bit higher underneath the left ear, you can always fold the the blanket over one more time so that the neck stays pretty neutral. And then take your right hand on top of your left hand and just let the palms rest together. Just take a few moments here. Breathe in, breathe out. And we're going to start to make big, huge circles with that right arm. So we'll inhale, right arm will sweep overhead. We'll exhale, we'll roll to the back of the head, stretch the right arm behind you, down towards the hip, and then completing that circle towards the left hand. So you're just drawing this big, huge circle with the right arm, the right shoulder. So now we're starting to educate the thoracic wheel or the upper back in preparation for a little bit of back bending in our restorative back bends practice. Stay tuned into your breath here, but still allow it to be relatively free and neutral. So not a lot of breath control, but just letting it be something that comes naturally to you. I'm going to take this circle with the right arm twice more. One more time. And then pause with the right arm sweeping off to the right. You're broadening across your chest and you're just kind of opening up into this twist on your back. If you need to adjust the blanket or pillow that's underneath the back of the head so that your neck is relaxed, you can do that. So sometimes a different height is needed. We'll just take about 3 breaths here in our twist. Start to come all the way onto your back. Take a moment, pause on your back. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we'll come to fetal position on the right side. So you're just going to roll onto your right hip, take that outer right knee and right ankle to the blanket or pillow that's waiting for you on the other side of your mat. Roll towards your right ear, stacking your shoulders, bring your hands together. Just pause in fetal position on your right side. Notice if you need to make any adjustments to the prop you're using underneath the head so that your neck is relaxed, your head is supported. And then we'll start to find these big circles with that left arm. So first the left arm reaches up and overhead, and then it slowly extends behind you. And then you're completing that circle by drawing the left arm down towards your hip and back towards the right hand. Continue drawing those circles nice and slow. The slower, the better. And so you might notice different sensations on this side, especially in the shoulder joint, maybe across the front of the chest. Just noticing how this sensation feels same or similar, or different to that first side. Take 2 more circles all the way around. And then the next time that left arm reaches behind you, opening up into your twist. So the legs stay as they are, both knees pointing off to your right. Left arm stretching off to the left. Chest is opening towards the ceiling, shoulder blades are relaxed. And feel free to adjust whatever's underneath the back of your head to make sure that the neck is relaxed and the head is supported. Take about 3 deep, slow breaths here. In your rotation. So just slowly unwind out of your twist, just coming onto the back of your pelvis. I'll take a moment here to rest in this neutral position. Let everything return to center. So the next thing we're going to do is set up for our first static stretch, our first static back bend. And so we're going to need one of our blankets or a pillow. If you're using a blanket, you could take the blanket that you were using at the top of your mat if you like. We're going to roll it up into a nice long roll. So I'm taking my blanket to a pretty wide setting and I'm rolling it up like a big long Tootsie Roll. And then I'm going to place that towards the top of my mat where my upper back is going to rest. I'm looking for the tips of my shoulder blades. So like right underneath the armpits, if you walk your fingertips to your back, you might be able to feel the tip of your shoulder blade, maybe a little bony protrusion. You can kind of move your arm forward and backward and maybe feel that little bony protrusion move. That's what you're going to aim to rest your back on, right? So you're going to find that bony protrusion and rest it on the roll of the blanket. If you're using a pillow, again, that's the target area. So it's just like right underneath the armpit. And so I'm looking as I lay back to get my arms above whatever I'm laying back on, pillow or blanket roll. Stretch those arms out wide like a big capital T. And if you need to make any adjustments, if you feel like you're too high or too low, kind of wiggle around for a few moments and see where is the edge of my scapula, the tip of my scapula, that little bony protrusion. You can move your arms around, kind of see if you can feel that underneath your back. Once you feel like you've got that place where you can settle and rest and find stillness, just start to let any tension, any effort go. We're going to spend about 3 minutes here. If the legs stretching out long bothers your low back at all, just go ahead and bend your knees wide on your mat and let your knees draw in towards one another. That should alleviate any really intense sensation in the low back. So right now here we're targeting the upper back, thoracic spine. Deep, slow belly breaths. If you liked that cyclical breathing exercise from the beginning of our practice, you could certainly employ it here. If your legs are stretched out long, start to bend your knees and plant your feet. Roll off to a side. Press up. We're just going to change the position of whatever we were lying on. So whether it's that blanket or pillow, now it's going to go lengthwise. Blanket works a little bit better for this one, but pillow will also work. So just in terms of like myofascial release, the idea behind the blanket is that our spine, the whole length of the spine, lays here. And then if you have a second blanket, you can give the back of the head a little bit more of a flat surface to rest on. So I take a second blanket to the top of that roll, place it there. And so my pelvis is still going to be on the mat. So my low back, middle back, upper back are going to rest on the lift of the blanket now. And then if you like, if you have that second pillow or blanket, that could go underneath the backs of the knees. So as you lay back on your pillow or your blanket roll, just see that both shoulder blades, especially with the blanket roll, both shoulder blades kind of melt over the blanket. And so the spine is the thing that's being elevated here. Again, back of the pelvis, not on the blanket roll, it's on the mat. So the heart here is the thing that's being elevated mostly. And then the back of the head is supported by maybe a second blanket, especially if you're using the blanket roll under the spine. Arms can stretch out wide. Big breath in across the belly and the chest. Big breath out. As you settle, let it go, let it rest. We'll take 3 minutes here. About 3 more breath cycles here. And if you're using that cyclical breath, just notice how you're feeling. Can you keep it relaxed? Can you keep the jaw soft? No tension in the face or the neck. Finishing up your last round of breath here, we'll start to transition into Shavasana, which, if this is really comfortable for you and you've kind of felt like you've already descended into Shavasana, feel free to stay. I'm going to stick with this today for our Shavasana. But honor your body, listen to your body, take what you need. Whether it's legs at the wall or just lying flat on your back or even sitting upright in meditation. Take the time to adjust and make yourself comfortable. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you do need to move on with your day, begin to gently awaken through fingertips and toes. Move your head side to side. When you're ready, rolling off to fetal position, whichever side you like. Pressing into the hands. We'll rise up to a very brief seat. We'll take cyclical breathing for 3 rounds. You could do this from your Shavasana too. 3 rounds of cyclical breathing together. Adjusting the spine so that it's nice and long. Hands resting anywhere that's comfortable. Begin inhaling. Slight pause at the top of your inhale. 1 more sip of air in. 1 long exhale, let it all go. As if you're trying to empty all the air out of the body. 2nd round, inhaling. Maximum capacity, pause. 1 more sip of air. Exhale, let it go. Try the last round on your own. You've completed that last round. Invitation to join me in Anjali Mudra, hands together at the heart, bowing the chin to the chest. Offering reverence and gratitude for our practice, to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis. All right. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. I hope to have you back again soon.